My name is Zara. I am 22 years old, and this is the story of my marriage. The story of the man I loved, the man I trusted with my entire world, but who never truly belonged to me. When I stood beside him on our wedding day, I thought life had finally given me a blessing. I thought my dreams were safe in his hands. The smile on his face, the promises he whispered, the way he held my hand, I believed it all. I thought he was my home, my destiny. But destiny had other plans. Very soon after our wedding, I began to notice the silence between us. It wasn't the normal silence of comfort that couples sometimes share. It was the silence of distance, of something hidden, of a heart that was somewhere else. He would sit beside me, but his eyes looked far away. He would talk to me, but his words had no warmth. At first, I told myself that it was just adjustment, that maybe marriage takes time, that love will grow slowly. I gave him space. I gave him time. I gave him every piece of patience I had. But then I discovered the truth. My husband was in love with a married woman. When I first heard it, I refused to believe it. I thought people were lying, trying to poison my marriage. But the signs were clear. He was never really mine. His phone would light up with messages he tried to hide. His moods would change with conversations I was never a part of. He would spend hours lost in thought, smiling faintly at something that wasn't me. And when I asked him, he would grow angry, defensive, as if my questions were crimes. That woman, she wasn't even free. She had her own husband, her own family, her own commitments. Yet my husband's heart was chained to her, and mine was left burning in silence. I remember nights when I would sit in the corner of our room, my hands shaking, my heart aching, wondering what was wrong with me. Was I not beautiful enough? Was I not kind enough? Was I not worthy of the love I thought I deserved? I was his wife, yet I felt like a stranger in his life. He never gave me time, never gave me the tenderness I longed for. His laughter, his secrets, his affection, all of it belonged to someone else. Do you know what it feels like to be alive, yet invisible? To lie next to the person you married, but feel lonelier than if you were alone. That was my reality. Every smile I wore in front of the world was a mask. Inside, I was breaking piece by piece. There were days when I wanted to scream at him, to beg him to see me, to remind him that I was here, waiting, hurting. But my pride held me back. I had given him my heart, but I couldn't beg for his. Love that needs begging isn't love, it's slavery. So I endured. I endured the way he compared me silently to her, the way his eyes glowed for her, but dimmed for me, the way his soul was never in our home. I endured the jealousy that burned inside me every time her name slipped into our conversations. I endured the quiet torture of being unloved by the very person who promised me forever. And yet, somewhere inside, I also grew stronger. Pain has a way of teaching you who you are. It strips you down. It forces you to face the truth. And the truth was this: I could not change him. I could not make him love me. I could not erase her from his heart. But I could decide how much of myself I would lose in this battle. I chose not to destroy myself for someone who had already destroyed the vows he made to me. Today, when I look back, I realize that sometimes the greatest betrayal is not when someone leaves you, but when they stay and still love someone else. My husband was physically mine, but his heart was never mine. And I was left to rebuild myself from the ashes of a love that never existed. This is my story, a story of marriage, of betrayal, of pain that carved deep scars in my soul, but also a story of survival. Because even though he loved a married woman, even though he burned my heart with his indifference, I am still here. I am still breathing, still living, still learning to love myself in ways he never did. And maybe one day, I will find someone who looks at me the way I always wanted him to. But until then, I carry this story inside me as a reminder. Love is not always faithful. Promises are not always kept. And sometimes the person you marry is not the person who will stand beside you in love. He loved a married woman, and I, his wife, learned what it meant to be forgotten.